How to convert a passed pawn in chess. Have you ever wondered how to turn a simple pawn into a game-winning piece? Converting a passed pawn can be a game changer in chess, especially in the endgame. Let's break down the steps to help you master this technique. First, let's clarify what a passed pawn is. A passed pawn is one that has no opposing pawns blocking its path to promotion on its file or adjacent files. This means it has a clear route to become a queen or another piece, which is a significant advantage. To convert your passed pawn effectively, start by using your king to support it. In the endgame, the king is a powerful piece. Move your king toward the passed pawn to protect it from enemy pieces. This will help control key squares ahead of the pawn, making it harder for your opponent to stop it. Next, consider creating and exploiting pawn majorities. A pawn majority occurs when you have more pawns on one side of the board than your opponent. Use this advantage to push your pawns forward and create a passed pawn. For example, if you have two pawns against one on a flank, you can often create a passed pawn by advancing them. Sometimes, you may need to exchange pieces to clear the path for your passed pawn. If your opponent has pieces that can block or capture your pawn, trading them off can be beneficial. For instance, if your opponent has a bishop or knight defending critical squares in front of your pawn, consider exchanging it. Fewer pieces on the board mean fewer obstacles for your pawn. However, be cautious about pushing your passed pawn too early. If you advance it without proper support, your opponent may capture it or set up a blockade. Always prepare the advance by controlling key squares and ensuring your king or pieces can back it up. Another tactic to consider is using zugzwang. Zugzwang is a situation where your opponent must make a move that worsens their position. By carefully maneuvering your king and pieces, you can force your opponent's king away from the pawn's path, making it easier for your pawn to advance. You can also leverage remote passed pawns. A remote passed pawn is from your king but can distract your opponent's pieces. Use this to your advantage by creating threats on one side of the board while your king captures opponent pawns or supports the advance on the other side. Lastly, make sure to maintain control of the promotion squares. Ensure that your king or pieces control the squares where your pawn will promote. Preventing enemy pieces from occupying or attacking these squares is key to a successful promotion. In practical endgame scenarios, use king opposition to force the opposing king away from the promotion path. Sometimes, you may need to sacrifice a pawn to break through the opponent's pawn structure and create a passed pawn. Creating a passed pawn on the flank can also distract your opponent's king, allowing you to win material elsewhere. Converting a passed pawn requires precise coordination of your king and pieces, strategic pawn pushes, and sometimes piece exchanges to clear the way. Mastering these techniques is essential in endgame theory and can often turn an advantage into a win.